All righty, so now we're recording just to test this out, even though I've already started the first round. And it's my pick, and 5 receivers have gone, or running backs have gone in a row. Wow, I've got 48 seconds. I could go with Cook or Thomas. You know, I'm going to go with Thomas just to kind of be a little different. Let's see how I can pick Thomas. Okay, so there we are back on that page. So I picked Thomas. And this is really nice. This is the kind of mode I was hoping for. I don't see it on now. Hopefully you are sharing screen. Okay, good. So as I'm sharing screen, I don't see the little guy, but the green thing around it. But let's assume it's working. And allegedly I am storing the data. Stop recording. Okay, so I am there. All right, so let's do that. Okay, so we're waiting for Drew Dazzling blah blah blah. I wonder if there's a way to show this screen without showing anything else. It doesn't look like I can. Boy, this guy must be an auto picker. Drew's Dazzle's down to 1 second, and he picked Cook, who's an excellent pick for that 7th spot. And Jacobs goes in the first round. The 6th running back, or 7th running back going. Wow, these guys are definitely running back heavy in this draft. Maybe I should have checked the rules. I thought it was PPR. I could be wrong. But I don't really have time to do that. So let's just go back here and see what's going on. Oh my God, Mixon. All right, well, I wonder what's going to be left for me around this corner. Hopefully they'll start taking running backs, or excuse me, wide receivers. The next I have is Drake or Jones. I like Drake. I've got him ranked 6th. Wonder if he'll make it to me. I don't think he will. And we have Tyreek Hill as the 2nd wide receiver. It's a 1-2-2-1-1, I recall, with a flex, standard running back, wide receiver, tight end flex. All right, and Chubb went, which is good. I'm happy with that. Adams, let's just for the heck of it, let's go over to where I'm picking at. And we're gonna load this guy. Let's go back. Sanders is gone. Sanders' stock is really high this year. One more pick, maybe I can get Drake here. If not, I'm not sure what I'm gonna do. Clyde, let's go look at just running backs in general. Drake, Jones, Eckler. I may go with Eckler. That sounds kind of crazy. And I think Drew is an auto draft. I don't know for sure, but both his picks have now gone all the way to the end. So hopefully the running back I want is not. And oh wow, he went with that guy. So I'm going to take Drake. So I draft Drake, come back here. So I've got Drake as my first running back. I have him ranked 6th, which is extremely high. And the first tight end goes, Kelsey goes with the 6th pick in the 2nd round. Now I didn't go with the quarterback. I took one earlier because this is such a, oh wow, tight ends are gone. Now the receivers are starting to loosen up. Hopkins went, followed by Julio. So I've got my number 1 receiver and my number 6 running back on my roster after the first 2 rounds. Not bad, not bad. A 10-round team. This is a 10-team league. Aaron Jones is just gone with the first pick in the 3rd round. Allen Robinson, the last pick in the 2nd round. So team 1 has got Christian McCaffrey, Aaron Jones, and Allen Robinson. Not bad. Not bad at all. All right. Godwin is gone. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4 more picks to, or 3 more picks to my pick. I could take a quarterback here, or I could go with one of the top couple tight ends, or I could take Galladay, or I could take Eckler. So that's a tough choice. I think I may go with Eckler if he's still there, because maybe I can still get Mahomes or Jackson in the in the middle of the 4th round. Probably not. We'll see what happens. Tony's terrific team is with 16 seconds left on the clock. Not sure if he's auto-picking or not, and that would probably determine whether certain players are going to make it. Not auto-picking, he took Evans. So receivers are starting to run. We had 6 receivers go in the last 7 picks. 1 more before me, and Pat Mahomes went. So, you know, I got 56 seconds. Should I take Lamar Jackson here, or should I take Eckler? You know what? I think I'm going to take Lamar Jackson. Let's just let's take Lamar here, and see what running back I can get in this next pick, assuming that's where I want to go. Again, it's a 10-team league, which is a little different. There goes Eckler, so he wasn't going to last much longer. And the problem with Eckler is, can he take a full load? Obviously, he's had some phenomenal games last year. So, you know, there is a risk there. So Drew Dazzles has got 3 running backs. He's got Dalvin Cook, Hilaire, Clyde Edwards-Hilaire, and Eckler. So he's really loading up. So he's going to take a late quarterback. He's going to probably start taking receivers. And it's a very effective method. It's been historically a good method, but especially with the short rosters, it's not a bad idea. You've got to have some receivers and a tight end and a quarterback. Well, you only have a 10-team league, so it's probably not a hard thing to get a decent quarterback. That may not be the problem. The problem is you're going to have to get some receivers, and you're going to have to get a tight end. And, you know, that Connor pick, maybe you could have picked a receiver or a tight end in that 3rd round and still, you know, done what you're trying to do. Okay, Gurley is gone. Let's go back to our little to-do list here. Let's go back to let's see, we have Thielen. I still like this guy. I don't know why. Chris Johnson more. We just hit a few guys here to get on our list. I like Thielen, but I just don't know how much I like him. So let's go back here. Again, you look at this thing, and just running backs are just flying off the board. And there is a point where they fall off the curve much quicker than wide receivers. And they continue to take – I almost want to go check the rules. Maybe it's a non-PPR league. I don't know. I think it's not, though. Yeah, we got our 3rd quarterback gone, Russell Wilson. I have 3 more before my pick. And I really could go anywhere as far as a tight end. And I think I'm going to wait on tight end because I want to go Waller or Higbee, and maybe I can get some receivers here or a running back. You know, Carson's next on my list. I don't like Fournette. I don't like Gordon. I don't like Bill. So that leaves me Taylor for Indianapolis. You know, Carson's kind of boring, but he may be, you know, the best player here as far as a running back is concerned. These guys are taking their time. It's 1 minute per pick. Time on the clock. I mean, these guys are just going running back insane. All right, 25 seconds left for Chube's team. Six seconds. Don't tell me this guy's going to. Nope, he's not timed out. Calvin Ridley, which is way early compared to ADP, and probably could have got him the next round. Maybe not. But it's a lot of guys gone. Thielen's gone. So, you know, I'm going to load on this running. I need a second receiver. There's a lot of good players here. But I'm gonna take Chris Carson and get established second running back. And hopefully there's a lot of receivers that I can get in the next few rounds that are very good quality receivers, where the running backs start to fall down. Another receiver. Oh, and there goes Taylor. That's not surprising. A little early, but not that early. The reason I take Carson is over Taylor is Taylor could still share time. He's a rookie, where Carson's really the man with his backup. Is hurt this year. He's coming back from injury, and he could get a lot of playing time. It's not sexy. Chris Carson's not sexy, but he's a quality player. Again, just the plethora of running backs going, which is a reason why I took Carson, because I got two established running backs and I have to start two, plus a flex possible. So Mozart for San Francisco is a guy I like to get. You got David Johnson, you got Akers. I like Swift for Detroit too. These are guys I can get, but I'm really in a position where I probably need to take a receiver or two and seriously can start figuring out when I can take either Higbee, Waller, Ertz, or Mark Andrews. Odell Beckham. So guys standing out right now. Galladay's gone. Let's see if I mark these guys off, because, you know, I'm getting old and sometimes I forget. Because Kupp is DJ Moore is available and Cooper Kupp are still available. And there goes a DJ Moore just went. Hey, Mark Andrews went. Not surprising. So 3 more before me. I really need to look at these receivers. You've got Brown. I don't really want to take that guy. Cooper Kupp is really tempting. So there's a handful here. Right now I've got Kupp and A.J. Brown, really, who I should seriously look at. And we'll see what happens. So that's 2 players I've got that I'm looking at, and I've got 2 more slots before. Oh, and there's Sutton Went, who I just have very high. So I have Kupp and Brown. If they don't go bang, bang here, I can seriously consider them. I could also consider Ertz, but I kind of like Waller and Higbee as potential good players. If I had some more receivers planned out, perhaps I could drop down, but I've only got 1 receiver, and you start 2 in a flex. So, and there's McLaurin, and wow, is that guy just going earlier than I've got him ranked. So, again, I've got Kupp and I've got Brown, and Brown went, who's a guy I always like to take, but obviously I'm not going to be able to take him. So we're going with Kupp. That's my second receiver. I have him ranked 11th. Now, Kupp, last year, Cooper Kupp was all over the place. He had a certain amount of time, and there goes Ertz. Surprise, surprise. And Kupp had some phenomenal games, and then he had some very slow times. So he's become a pretty good player, but it's not necessarily a sure thing as my number 2 receiver. So now I've got some interesting things. You've got the top 4 tight ends gone. Waller is a concern because maybe he's going to be guarded better, and they've got other talent on that team now and for the Raiders. So should I wait on Waller, maybe take Higbee if Waller's around the next round? And should I take another receiver here when I get to the 6th round? So Lockett's gone. You know, is there a guy, you know, Keenan Allen's available. I'm not really ultra excited about him with the quarterback position. Woods is a good player, but I just took a Ram player. Chalk's good. Metcalf's good. A lot of guys here. And the guy I keep missing is this Marquez Brown. I miss him every time. Hilton worries me. He's already got a hamstring problem, and he hasn't even made it. There's Mostert, who we mentioned earlier. He's gone. Amari Cooper, I'm just staying away from. I just don't feel good about him. Then Waller has gone. So I've got Higbee ranked 6th. Most people have him ranked 8th. I'm going to shoot for Waller in the 7th round. Excuse me, not Waller. Higbee. So I'm going to take somebody here in 4 picks. I'm hoping to take a receiver. I'm thinking about taking a receiver. But it's a tough choice because Swift is sitting there, who I like. And he's probably, people are seeing him as a potentially good player to take. So, you know, you got Swift, and you got a lot of receivers that I have ranked. The problem with Swift, and this is why I really like looking at the board, Debo just went, Debo Samuel. If I'm really planning on taking a tight end in the 7th, you know, Metcalf, okay, now it's my pick. So if I'm going to take a tight end in the 7th round, if I don't take Swift now, he's going to be gone. So is it worth Swift, or should I take one of those receivers that I just mentioned, like even a Marcus Brown, which would be a complete wild card? See, this is an excellent point where you can't have everybody. So if I let Swift go, I've got Carson and Drake. He's a rookie anyway. So should I take Woods, one of the receivers, or even fall down and all the way down and get Marcus Brown? I think I'm gonna go wild here, and I'm gonna take Marcus Brown a round or 2 early, just to get him on a team. I don't have him ranked that high, and they're a running team, but the coach says that he's the guy this year. He's going to be the guy who jumps out of nowhere and becomes he's a great player. Had a foot injury last year and played hurt the whole year. And by the way, we got Prescott gone, which we don't care about right now because we got Lamar Jackson, and with I think it's a 15-team roster, I'm not going to be taking a second quarterback unless I just totally fall off the wagon. So Marcus Brown was a wild card because I'm going to take a tight end in the next round. What I could have done is taken Swift, tried to get Marcus Brown in the 7th, and then see what tight end falls to me in the 8th. That was the more logical choice. That's not what I did. Le'Veon Bell goes, the mystery, another mystery coming into this year. All right, let's see, where are we at here? 5 tight ends going. And while we wait for this next pick, I'll just say again that how important it is to me to look at the draft matrix, and then in Yahoo it's called the presentation board or presenting system. And it just shows you so much. It shows you where everybody's at. Like between my pick and the next pick, 3 people have got tight ends, so that's helpful. Maybe they won't take a tight end or my tight end when we go around the loop. All right, Edelman, who's fallen a great deal from last year, obviously because they got a new quarterback situation, and coming up a little bit with Cam Newton on board, even though he may or may not start. Slowing down a great deal in this draft. So I'm looking at Swift or Higbee. If I believe when I get to the next middle of the 7th round here, if I think Higbee can last around the loop, I may take Swift, assuming Swift's available. And he's not. He was just taken. So I can look at David Johnson, Akers, and there goes David Johnson. Akers is an interesting pick here. Geis for Washington's another interesting pick. Do I need a third running back this early? Can I take, but you know, I could take a long shot later. Another quarterback goes, Kyler Murray. So I got a lot to think about. Robert Woods is an excellent pick at this point in the draft. Parker's looking good. Keenan Allen, I think, still available unless I missed him somewhere. What do I have? 3 receivers, 2 running backs, and a quarterback. You really need to get a top tight end of what's left. And I really like Higbee. What running back would be left if I end up taking Higbee? I don't really know. It's sharp. Where's he? All right. Well, I guess I'm going to have to make up my mind here, huh? Chark went. All right. I'm going to take Higbee, and then we'll just see what's left there. So Chark went just before me, and I took Higbee, who I have ranked 6th at my tight ends. I just didn't believe he could loop around to me. Probably could have a more sharper play would have been to take Akers or to take Parker, Hilton, guys like that, and see if Higbee would have lasted to my next pick. Well, we'll see if one of those guys lasts. Because Akers, if I want to get my third running back, if I don't have any sleeper, Geis and Akers are kind of interesting picks. Let's go over here and go to running back. And let's see, Akers is, unfortunately, they're both very high. You know, Hunt's an interesting guy, but I don't really want to take him this early, and everybody will take him before how. So I'm not going to worry about that. It just starts to get really slim when you get past these guys. And that's why I believe you should be taking 1 or 2. Oh, look at there. Henry went, who's ranked higher than Higbee, so I probably would have been fine. And as a matter of fact, then there's only Todd's team left, so Higbee may have lasted, but I just decided it was a more important pick for me. And he's a wild card. He had a fantastic second half of the season when Everett got hurt and the Rams started playing better. He had a phenomenal second half of the season. He was like the top 3 or top 5 tight end, maybe top 3. I can't even remember off the top of my head. And but Everett comes back. Maybe they share time. You know, he's not a for sure thing. Not that everything is, but guys like Kittle and Kelsey and Andrews and Ertz are much more true guys. Of course, that's why they went before. All right, we're waiting for Todd's team. He's down to 5 seconds. Looks like he's an auto pick. No, he's not a buy. He took Parker, which is a solid pick. Again, Parker was an incredible receiver last year, but he should be going much earlier than this. But people, I think, just, hey, we got a defense. The defense in the 8th round, which is a reach. Let's call it a reach. That's my theory. And Hilton goes, another solid player with some concern coming into this year. So we got 2 more guys to get by, and we've got Akers and Geis and Henderson. And we could look at another wide receiver if we decide I don't really see somebody. Slayton I like. If Geis goes and Keenan goes, so Akers and Geis are going to both be there. And so now I've got a choice, and I'm going to go with Akers. So I've got my third running back, which I think is important. I've got 3 receivers and 3 running backs. Kind of sounds boring, doesn't it? Let's go back to our buddy who took 3 receivers. There's 2 guys who took 3 running backs. Drew, and he ended up getting Thielen, Metcalf, and Diggs, Stephon Diggs, which is not bad. The other guy who took 3 running backs in the first 3 rounds got Calvin Ridley, Tyler Lockett, and Keenan Allen. You know, that could work. That could work for him. All right, so just at a glance here. Oh, look at Geis. Geis went right after. So So, oh my gosh, and there goes Hunt. Again, this league is just pushing the running backs. And I'm not going to worry about running backs for a while, most likely. Because I've got 3 decent ones. One's a rookie. You know, and something pops up here, maybe I'll take it. Henderson for the Rams, I could back that up with Akers just because he could end up being the guy this year. He did almost nothing last year. So Diggs went. I got to keep my I'm falling behind. I assume Landry went. Let me look here. Okay, Thielen went. Did Thielen go? See, I'm talking too much. Gallup just went. Roberts was a very nice pick. Some people got lucky there. I miss Brown. God, I want A.J. Brown in leagues, but people are just taking him so quickly. Another quarterback goes. I'm usually a late quarterback person, but with a 10-team league, I could be it even says to go later at quarterback. But with Mahomes and Lamar Jackson, last year they effectively finished well above the 3rd quarterback, which is Dak Prescott. Mahomes was hurt, but essentially he could potentially be. So these guys are above. So that's why I kind of decided to try to get Lamar with a short roster, short starting lineup, only 2 running backs and 2 receivers and a tight end and a flex. It's tempting to take one of these top quarterbacks early, and I got him in the 3rd round, Lamar Jackson. So not my style in 12-team leagues with deep starting lineups. But in this situation, I may be able to get away with it because I only have to start 2 running backs, 2 receivers, and a tight end and a flex. Okay, Jordan Howard, another guy I'm just staying away from so far in my drafts. Oh, we got a second defense. Fine defenses are leaving. So let's go back to my board. I'm really anywhere right now. I could even take a backup tight end, although I probably wouldn't do that right now. Oh my gosh, we got a kicker. Again, 15 rounds, and yeah, I consider that early. We got Henderson, we got Slayton here. Landry is still available. Fuller's a good player. Deontay Johnson's a good player. There's a lot of guys here that are. Breda's not a bad guy. Ronald Jones could actually be a starter. So there's some pretty dang good value here. I've got 4 more picks before my pick, and so I've got Henderson, Slayton, Landry, Fuller, Deontay Johnson, and Ronald Jones. I've got 6 guys here to pick from, and there'll definitely be a couple of them available for me to think about. Another tight end went, Jordan Cook, a nice pick there in the 9th round. The 8th tight end taken. Ingram, the tight end for the Giants, who's a guy that scares me. He's incredible when he's healthy. You go look at his numbers, go to second half, and Gronkowski is gone. The problem is he gets hurt. When he gets hurt, obviously, the production goes down. Dobbins is an interesting guy. If he can beat out Ingram, you know, if Ingram all of a sudden isn't there, Dobbins is huge. All right. The next guy, Dante's team's got a very balanced team. He's got a tight end, a quarterback, 3 receivers, 3 running backs. So he's really balanced. Not that that's important, but he's certainly not hurting in a position right now. So he could probably look around and see something he likes. And I probably should be taking a receiver, and I like Slayton. Even though I have Landry ranked higher than Slayton, I may just take Slayton just because he could end up being the number 1 running receiver. Giants and A.J. Green, who I refuse to pick. I don't know why. Maybe I will later on in August. All right. I can't believe all these guys. Henderson's available, but I'm going to take Slayton because I just got this funny feeling this guy is going to be great. I've got him ranked 38. I got tons of guys ranked above him that are still available in the draft, including Landry, Cooks, Marvin Jones. There's a lot of guys I could have taken, but I just went crazy and took Slayton. Landry is gone just after that. Mack is gone. Ah, man, if Henderson flips around, okay, we got another quarterback on, Drew Brees. Well, let's see what's available. We got Henderson, Fuller, Deontay Johnson, and Ronald Jones. Man, and I don't really want to take a second tight end, although I may consider it at the end because Higbee is kind of a wild card, although free agency in week 1 or 2 is probably going to be pretty open for, tight ends that aren't picked. We'll see whether – I don't see this league drafting an additional tight end too much because it's only a 15-man roster, if I recall. Okay, guys, let's do it. I can't believe these guys are going so slow. So we got lots of options here flipping around. We've got 2 running backs, 2 receivers, and I could probably sit here and look at some more stuff while we wait. All right, looks like we had a pick. Breda went. I like that pick. There's a chance that guy could get some production this year. I don't really like Sony Mitchell. I don't like Marvin Jones. Jeez, why is Marvin Jones still available? Cook. I mean, there's really some quality players here. I don't like Cook per se, but he's gone to Houston, and they lost one of the Hopkins, one of the best receivers in the league. So he's a good player in the 10th round, even in a 10-team league. All right, let's see what happens here. We've got whatever the hell you pronounce that name, doubling up here. Yep. 8 seconds for him. Let's see if he's I don't know. I hope he's not an auto pick. I guess he's an auto pick. Oh, who did he take? He took a kicker. All right. Wonderful. 2 kickers have gone and 2 defenses have gone. Let's double check, see how many rounds we've got. We've got 15 rounds. Fuller goes, which is obviously he's on our list, and that's an excellent pick. Man, I'm Ronald Jones. So that kind of hurts. So Fuller and Jones went, who are 2 of our guys. So we're really left with, well, we got Henderson. We've got, pardon my, okay, my phone's kind of happy there. Let's turn my phone down. Whose pick is it here? So Jones went, Fuller went. Okay, I'm confused. I've confused myself. I still have Henderson. God, Deontay Johnson's available. There's too many guys available. Look at these 4 guys I've got. I've got these 4 players, and I really can go in any direction. Do I back up my Akers pick with Henderson on an incredible team that it scores a lot, or do I take one of these receivers? I'm going to go Henderson. I don't really like this. I don't like what I'm doing. But now I'm like, I've got 4 running backs, and I have 2 on one team, so I'm kind of backing up or kind of figuring out, giving myself a second chance on that team. That was a way deep pick. I probably should have taken a receiver. So now we'll come back here and we'll see if I can get a decent receiver. Let's go to receivers here. I really worry about Sterling Sharp. I kind of like this Crowder character. He caught a lot of balls last year. Antonio Miller I like as a up-and-coming player, but I'm not really horribly excited. Robbie Anderson could be a number 1 receiver, 50-50 with Carolina and DJ Moore. Preston's a little later guy. A lot of players there. Well, I don't know. We'll see if that was a mistake because, truthfully, Cooks and Jones and Deontay Johnson, and probably Cooks is number 1 on that. I'm stunned he's still available. John Brown, a guy I worry about with Diggs coming. He's a good player, but I would like to get a guy with more upside. I don't think he's got huge upside because of Diggs and just a running team, including the quarterback. Let's see, is anybody not taking a tight end? Todd, team 11 or team 9, has not taken a tight end. Not that it matters to me. All right, and there goes Cooks, and whoever got him, that was a good pick. Probably what I should have gone for. But we'll see if we can get another one more receiver here in the 11th round that has got some quality. And the Harry guy for New England's another good wild card. We've got Brady, just went. And we got Stafford, and those two players are good quality players. And again, I love late quarterback picking, and those are excellent examples, especially Stafford, getting him that late. And he's a double up. That's a second quarterback, which is kind of hard to fit. The guy's only got 2 receivers on that team. So we're going to see team number 1. He's got a defense and a kicker already. So he's got 5 more picks. Let's see what receivers he can get. Taking a defense and a kicker early is typically not a smart choice, but we'll see if it works for him. Marvin Jones just went. Deontay Johnson went. Marvin Jones went. Okay, well, I can't find Deontay. There he is. All right, so we're running out of our players. We're down to Crowder, Robbie Anderson, and Preston Williams. So we got 3 of those, and there's 3 more people before us. So we probably will get one of those guys. Those are good picks. You've got Cooks, you've got Marvin Jones, you got Deontay Johnson, pretty late players, receivers going, and Golden Tate, Mr. Show Off. I don't really like him, but obviously he's a pretty good receiver. Oh, I don't like that guy. Lamb, I think Lamb's got great potential, but I guess some of these other guys I have higher because they've, are more experienced players. All right, one more guy before me. Wish I could blow that up because we're missing the first rounds there. And a kicker. Okay, so we got Crowder, Anderson, and Williams. I have Crowder ranked higher in those, so I'm just going to take him. I'm not going to start second guessing. As you can probably see now, I don't necessarily go completely with my rankings. I got 5 receivers and 4 running backs, a quarterback, and a tight end. Baltimore's defense is going. Let's screw it. Place kicker went. So we still got Anderson and Williams. Let's go take a look at the receivers. Let's go look at the running backs. Mitchell should be taken somewhere. Latavius Murray went well. I'm looking for kind of wild, crazy guys. Deshaun Vaughn is a kind of a potential guy. Zach Moss is an interesting character. Even Boston Scott, who could end up playing some decent time on that team, but certainly not the number 1 running back. Oh, hey, Wentz went. And Wentz go. And Aaron Rodgers, who's just I can't figure out Aaron Rodgers. We got some guys picking 2 quarterbacks. We've got team 1, team 9, and team 7 have taken 2 quarterbacks. Sony Mitchell finally goes. I just don't want to take that guy. I just can't take him. Also, Kelly. I forgot about Kelly. He's an interesting character. Let's go find him. He's buried on the. Oh, you got this Gibson. You can't forget about him. Did Kelly already go? There he is. He's buried on the list. Kelly's an interesting guy for the Chargers. If Eckler gets hurt or gets binged up. Kelly could end up being a productive player. Ingram went finally. He's got 2 tight ends. New Orleans defense. I'm probably going to take a defense the second to last round or the last round. Probably round 14. But if it gets just dry as can be, I'll take him earlier than that. So we got a big stack here that we got to think about here in the next 3 picks. We got 2 more people going before us. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 receivers, 4 running backs. Let's look at our list. Gibson's a fun guy. These running backs aren't like thrilling me. Anderson could actually be a fairly productive receiver for Carolina. So he's probably a smarter pick at this point. Murray. Latavius Murray is gone. And let's see. And then we had Chicago's defense. So, receivers, I'm going to go with Robbie Anderson. And then we'll see what one of these running backs falls to me. So, nobody likes Robbie Anderson for some reason. So I got 6 receivers, 4 running backs, a tight end, and a quarterback. Let's mark off Chicago's defense. I may start thinking about a defense, but the problem with defenses and kickers is they're inconsistent from year to year. So typically you're picking up free agent kickers and defenses in the first few weeks of the season. Madison just went for Minnesota. And, why spend, when some of these other receivers could end up doing. Sanu just went, Jonathan Smith, not Sanu. So everybody's got a tight end now, at least one. Coleman went for Chicago. San Francisco. I can't talk tonight. Drinking too much coffee. All right, let's go back to my list. Our list in the top right. I don't know if you can see it on this thing, actually. Preston Williams. Then I got a bunch of running backs. Vaughn, Moss, Scott, Gibson, Kelly. Wow. Hey, the guy back, you got Tom Brady and Daniel Jones. That's nice. And that's what I like to do a lot. If I do a late quarterback, I like to get 2 of them that are productive. And Brady and Jones is an excellent tandem. Kyle Murray and Matthew Jones from Team 1 is a really nice setup. And we got Kerryon Johnson, who everybody's given up on, but watch him end up being the #1 guy there. And I probably should have considered him. No, I got Akers. I didn't get Swift. Sterling Shepard, I mentioned earlier, very concerned about him and his Buffalo's defense, one of my favorite defenses. I could consider a defense right here. 6 defenses have gone. Right now I've got Denver, New England, the Rams, the Chargers are my top ones, and Kansas City and Tennessee. I kind of like Denver. Well, we'll see. 3 more picks before our pick. We've got 6 receivers. Alshon Jeffries is still available. Everybody's given up on him. It's hard, though, to fit him on a short roster. Rieger just went for Philadelphia. Cam Newton just went. And that man has 2 quarterbacks also, that team, I should say. Should we take Preston Williams or should we take one of those running backs? I think I'm going to take Preston Williams and then just see if I can get another running back somewhere. I'm worried about, Vaughn's a rookie. We've heard up and down about him. Moss could actually end up being very productive in Buffalo because they do want to share time with Singletary. Scott, Gibson are kind of wild cards. Kelly's a wild card we can get later. So probably should go with Preston Williams, assuming he's not taken in the next 2 picks. All right, Cohen went, and it's my pick. So I'm going to take Williams. Keep waiting on I said 3 receivers in a row after I took Henderson. So now I've got 7 receivers, which is probably enough. Actually, ironically, I just realized I only have 2 more rounds, so I got to take a defense and a kicker. However, I could end up taking one of these rookie running backs, keep my do not pick a kicker, and I'm sure we have a free agency before the season starts. So another clever move, especially in a 10-team league where you can get a kicker with a 10-team league. And so don't take one and load up on another player that you can see in preseason or training camp, since there is no preseason. And you may know that a guy's a starter. Maybe I can get Kelly or I can get Moss, and I know he's going to be productive. And Mike Kissick just went as a tight end. So I do it, and I've seen a lot of other people in even 12-team leagues don't take a kicker until, you know, the season starts, assuming you have waivers, which you should. Right now it's August 4th, and you would think that the league would have waivers by then. All right. So knowing that, I've got Vaughn, Moss, Scott, Gibson, and Kelly all sitting there with 8 more picks to go, some of which people are going to be probably taking defenses. And let's see, you've got defense. So this guy may take a defense. Oh, he's got New Orleans. So nobody's going to take a defense. There's one kicker. Maybe somebody will take a kicker in round 13 or 14. Oh, there goes a kicker. So I'm leaving kickers alone. Not going to take a kicker. I'm going to take hopefully one of these 5 players will still be around. Cooper just went. God, that guy's been so good for Atlanta, and it's just really hard to see him having a high ceiling in Cleveland. Roethlisberger went. So, again, a lot of players, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of the 10 managers have double quarterbacks. Let's see. He took Emmanuel Sanders. A good pick for New Orleans. I just have left him alone fairly late in the draft. That's very good. So, again, I messed up. I got 2 picks left, so I could take a kicker, but I don't think I will. I keep forgetting it's a 15 round, so. But I'm still going to take a running back, and I'm going to skip the kicker unless I'm just completely zeroed out. This guy got Hurst and Hooper. Pretty darn good tight end double up this late in the draft. So I got to learn to count. I messed up on that. Come on, guys, let's draft. You guys are slow. These guys are slow, aren't they? I'm glad we're for a 60-second clock. All right, so right now we have Vaughn, Moss, I think, are our top 2. I'd almost go bang, bang if those guys were still available. One guy before my pick, so I'm either going to get Vaughn or Moss, Zach Moss. That's my 2 top guys. I could even not even take a defense. I may do that. I may just go with those 2. We'll see what happens in the 15th round. Denver's attempting defense, but I usually end up taking a defense and a kicker, but I don't think I am. There's too many valuable players left that potentially could show themselves before the season starts, and I can just pick up anybody at a defense and kicker and probably still be okay. All right. We're waiting for this team to pick. And Christian Kirk, who I really have, okay, I'm taking Vaughn. Really surprised he lasted that long. He's a wild card for Tampa Bay, but he's got some potential. I've had people people talked about he's a real potential excellent player, and then people talk about how he's probably not fitting in there very well. But 14th round, now I've got one pick left, defense, kicker, or another player, presumably one of my running backs. Let's go over to the receivers. We had just had a player pick, so let's run back. Okay, another kicker. I'm going to ignore the kickers because I'm going for, let's see, Miller, Hardman. I mean, there's still a lot of good players here. Justin Jefferson for Minnesota. These 10-team leagues, I'm not used to how many players. And then also you got Alshon Jeffrey, who, you know, if he comes back and is whom he is typically, he's a wide receiver too at worst. Wow, tough choices, but I've got a couple minutes to make them. See, did I put Jeffrey on my list? I did. Boy, God, I'm very used to 12-team leagues and deeper drafts, you know, 18, 20 rounds. Kansas City defense went. Greg Zerline went. Robbie Gold went. So everybody's getting their kickers. And Kadlec is going to opt out of kickers and defense. Call me crazy. I like Noah Fant. Just went as a second tight end for Team 1. He's got Mark Andrews in the 5th round, and he just took Fant as a backup. It's a good pick. Fant could come on this year. Let's see. And he took New England defense. So we're down to the last 9 picks of the 15th round. Let's flip back to my list. Not sure if you can – I keep saying flip back, but I'm not really sure if you guys can see it. I've got Zach Moss, Boston Scott, Antonio Gibson, all running backs. Kelly is a running back for Los Angeles. Hardman for Kansas City. Jefferson for Minnesota, the rookie, and Alshon Jeffrey. Actually, it's going to be kind of hard to decide what to do there. I really don't know what to do. I may take Moss. I'll have way too many running backs, but I'll be cutting somebody to get a defense and a kicker. So, and I've only got one tight end. And Doyle's not a bad tight end. Hawkinson, that's another player. It's very difficult with 10-team leagues. Because Hawkinson's an interesting guy. Prater just went at a kicker. Indianapolis defense went. One pick before me. I've literally got 7 players to look at for my last pick. And I haven't taken a defense and a kicker. That's pretty funny. All right. So I'm going to take Zach Moss. This guy's he doesn't have a defense yet. He's probably going to end up with a defense. He took Lutz in the 11th round. He got my A.J. Brown in the 5th just before me, although he's probably going to take Cup anyway. Oh, fun draft, guys. Let's see what this guy does here. 8 seconds. Come on, guy. You're probably auto-picking here. All right, took a defense. That took 60 seconds to figure that out. All right, you guys, I'm going to go with Zach Moss. He really shouldn't even be here. You know, the word is that he's going to share time with Singletary, that they don't want to really load Singletary down. Rookie running backs have potential. And I've got 3 rookie running backs. I got Cam Akers, Deshaun Vaughn, Zach Moss, and I got Henderson, who's a second year, which is good. I got 2 other viable players, experienced veterans. And there goes Hawkinson, the guy who took Henry Hunter at tight end. He took Hawkinson the 15th, a guy who complete possible excellent wild card at tight end. And Bailey went, and Los Angeles, well, I assume it's the Los Angeles Rams went. So excellent draft. Very much enjoyed it. Hope you guys enjoyed it too. And we'll go on, get out of here and get on to the next draft analysis.